And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, "Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof." And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. May the Lord God add blessing to the reading of his word. You may be seated. And Brother Bram told us that sequentially, what followed in time was that after he took the book, he said we found him descending in Revelation chapter 10. He took the book, opened it, and began to what? Descend. If you notice, the requirement given was that the one worthy must be able to open the book before he loses the seal. A normal human being, to open a sealed book, will have to remove the seals first before he can open the book. But yet twice we read that he must open the book first, then lose the seals. So the first thing that comes to mind is that this is not a normal book, and it's not a normal seal. Right? It's not a normal book, it's not a normal seal. But of course we know that seal is one of the things that can prevent a man from access. If you are to be prevented access to a particular knowledge, territory, dimension, reality, that dimension must be sealed from you. So when Brother Bram defines seal, before he had to preach the 7 seals, Brother Bram first had to explain what a seal means. He says seal signifies ownership. A seal signifies that this is a finished product. A seal also protects. So when Brother Bram preached the message Easter seal, it was to show to us that the tomb of Jesus was sealed. Nobody could gain access. He said, but on Easter morning, the seal was what? Broken. And we now have access. A seal also signifies that what has been sealed belongs to someone. Right? So if you seal my seal on any document or on any goods, it means that it belongs to me. It's addressed to me. It's my own. Also, a seal shows that what has been sealed is a finished product. So if you manufactured something in a factory, they will take that goods through quality control processes. They will check whether the item has met specification. You know, we oftentimes say that some things that are shipped to Nigeria are often fake products. But the same country from where those things emanated from where they were produced, they also ship things to the United States. But they would make sure that what gets delivered to the United States is of high standard. So China, they send a lot of things to the United States. But those things are of high standard. Because the United States have quality control processes to make sure that whatever comes within their territory meets certain standards. We have an equivalent in Nigeria. It is called SON, the Standard Organization of Nigeria. They are supposed to ensure that everything that is used within Nigeria, both the things produced locally and the ones produced externally, meet the standards that they've set. I worked in procurement agency for 10 years. Whenever you are to deliver an item, it must meet certain standards. You may spend so much money to have imported it. You know, first you buy the product. Secondly, through logistics, you transport the product. And whenever that item is to be transported, they have what they call warranty. They have insurance to make sure that it's not damaged while it is being transported. Eventually, when it comes to Nigeria, we will now ask you. Normally, it will go through the customs. The SON people are normally there to check. But of course, most of the time, they're sleeping or they receive bribes. And by the time it comes to the end user, we'll check it. If it has not met certain standards, they are what we call international standards. Before you have Nigeria standard. So we work with international standard. If it doesn't meet them, you have wasted your money. You just wasted your money. It will be rejected and no dime will be given to you. So when you are to do such kind of a business, you must make sure that before you buy it, you will ask the manufacturer, where is the proof that this item that you've produced met this international standard? Because the guys I'm to deliver this item to will not accept it. Now, they have what they call standard certifying bodies. They are the ones that will go to that factory. They are internationally recognized. They will check if all the things produced there have met that standard before they will issue their certificates. And that is the one the manufacturer will show you, that this body, internationally recognized, have certified that whatever we produce from this factory meets international standard. Are you with me? So, when they put their seal on that item, anywhere it goes to in the world, it will be accepted because they certify that it has met international standard. That's what the seal signifies, that this person is a finished product. God is certifying to the entire universe, both creatures above and those beneath, that this individual has met my standard. And of course, you cannot query the standard of God. He said the foundation of the Lord, that's a standard. Standard sure. Having this seal, God is the greatest certifying agent you can ever meet. God does not certify you because you are prayerful enough. But the brother said one of the most sorrowful sights I have ever seen is to find somebody that is not predestinated asking for the Holy Ghost. In our Sunday school, we've said that people can build their pyramid. They will have faith, virtue, temperance, knowledge, patience, godliness, brotherly kindness. Yet I will tell them, I do not know you. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. God will not crown them. God will not seal them. God will not certify them. No matter what they've built, for there is no foundation. The Lord knoweth those who are his. And all these pretenders, let everyone that nameth the name of the Lord, because pretenders name his name, let them know that I will only seal those who I foreknew. I will not put my seal on any building that is not properly founded, because I know it will collapse. It will collapse. In Nigeria here, we have what we call, is it Society of Engineers, or those who certify buildings? They don't even do their job anymore. And so we hear every time collapse building, especially in Lagos. They don't do their job anymore. And so people die needlessly. The other day we had a collapsed building in Asaba. I don't know how many story building. Why? If you check it very well, somebody took bribe. Or it's either the person building did not even attempt to go. You know, government is supposed to protect us. They are supposed to go around, ask you, Mr. Man, this thing you are setting up, where are the documents? If you like, say, oh, it was built by a very good engineer. That's not what they want to hear. Where are the documents? Where are they? If you can't present them, no matter how far you've gone, the building will be brought down. That's what they do in advanced countries. So people want to build. Before they even set any block, they go to the certifying agencies. Come and check. Those guys will come with their instrument. You will pay them. You will pay them. They will come with their instruments. They will come and check the soil. Can this soil carry this building? Where is your civil engineering building? If you are to take it this high, can the foundation sustain it? And so we have people dying needlessly because these agencies are not working, or if they are working, they are notorious bribe takers. And so we have people dying, and we have a lot of things being done wrongly. But when it comes to the spiritual, you can't try that game there. Huh? You can't try that game there. You must be certified okay. And then we say you are adopted. And seal also signifies that this individual we have sealed will get to his destination. Will get to his destination. God will release all of heaven to make sure that you make the journey. All the insurance, spiritual insurance, a product that God has certified, He has warranted. This product will exist for all of eternity. I have placed my life, Zoe, in this individual. It will not cease to exist. Even if our manifestation had a beginning, it will have no end. The warranty is that we have the life of God. We have His life. And if God cannot end, we also cannot end. There will be no ending to our existence. Our manifestation will stay for all of eternity because we have the life of God. That is the warranty. That's the warranty. And so, if we have been sealed, Brother Abraham said Satan has been sealed out. If we have been sealed, we will get to the destination. And our destination is the day of redemption. Is the day we are delivered into our theophany. That's our destination. So when we look at this book, we said that concerning the earth, God had a title deed of covenants, in summary, that He gave to Adam. That Adam now has all rights, all ownership over the earth. Adam was a dominion, was to dominate, was to take charge of everything. But another dominion called Satan, and we said so much similarity exists between Satan and man. That's an indication to you that Satan was made like a man in the spirit. Everything that was supposed to be ours was first given to him. Even before the earth was created, was first given to him. He was on the throne. Is that right? In the message Marriage and Divorce, Brother Abraham said Satan was once co-equal with God. You couldn't tell that to a denominational. That Satan was once co-equal. In fact, there are many message pulpits that do not go that way. Do you know, there are many preachers who, several things are in the message but they don't mention it. It's the same way when we're in denomination, they don't mention the book of Revelation. They don't love going there. That's how we have people who, certain areas of the message, they don't go because they don't know it. If they try it, they can't get there. He said Satan was once co-equal with God. And then he now told us now that the bride in this age has become co-equal with God. Everything that Satan was once given was ours. And so Satan was placed there temporarily. So it meant that his co-equalness with God was a temporal situation. And that's why it did not last. Why did God do that? It was also to show you something. That when you ascend to the throne, do not in any way think that you become an object of worship. We are not the object of worship. That is why we have no part in the Godhead, because the Godhead pertains to one. The meaning of Godhead is this: all that it takes to be God. That's the meaning of Godhead. The same way fatherhood means all that it takes to be a father. Motherhood means all that it takes to be a mother. The word Godhead is from the word Godhood, all that it takes to be an object of worship. All that it takes to be the creator. And so Brother Bram said Satan was once co-equal with God except worship, except creation, except what it takes to be God. He saw Michael. Michael was angelic. He didn't know that Michael was God. Huh? You know, that's why Brother Bram had to reveal to us all these things. Who is this Melchizedek? He said, but God. Some of them felt Melchizedek was Shem. Huh? Somebody said Melchizedek was Job. Some said, oh, it's another name for Noah. The prophet had to rise and preach the message. Who is this Melchizedek? But God is God. So Michael also is God in angelic form. Somebody was saying that Gabriel is higher than us. Who told you that? The only angel higher than us is Michael. The only angel higher than us is Michael. I am saying that if you did a survey of every entity, every reality, both above or beneath, in any of the realms beyond the curtain of time, none is greater than man except Michael. And the simple reason Michael, because Michael is God in angelic form. We are higher than Gabriel. We are higher than any angel. If we ended up just as his children, we would still be higher. Huh? I said, if we had ended up just as his children, the way the foolish virgins and all other covenants would end, we will still be higher than them. But we went higher than being his children. We became his wife. We became his wife. That's what Jeremiah expressed. He said, we are not just his child, we are also his wife. We became his wife. And we are the only ones that carry his nature. Because only your children carry your nature. No matter what any other entity looks like, they don't carry your essence. It's we that carry it. The angels don't. They're even at our beck and call. They're even our servants. So Satan wrestled the earth, ownership of the earth from man. But thankfully, the proof of ownership, the deed of covenants, returned to the hands of God. And so God was now waiting so that even the death of Jesus was not enough to restore the book to man. Huh? The death of Jesus, the payment of the price on Calvary, was not still enough to hand that book to the human race. God was now looking. One must be found worthy. So what happened was that the death on the cross was only a part of his worthiness. Did you get what I just said? Jesus' death on the cross was only him proving he was worthy. So he was proving he was worthy. So to be worthy, you've got to pay the supreme price, which was death. Another proof of worthiness was what? Redemption. And so Brother Bram said in the message Souls in Prison Now that Jesus did not redeem his bride at the cross. Not at the cross. What happened at the cross was the payment of the price, which, like I said, is the first step to prove worthiness, to open the book and to loose the seals. The second step was what? You must redeem. You must redeem man. You must bring them back to becoming a dominion. They must become a dominion. They must be redeemed. Only then will you be able to open the book and to what? Loose the seals. Because once the book is open, man now have access. What blocked man is removed. Is that right? What blocked man is removed. Now, I want us to go to Ruth chapter 4. Ruth chapter 4. One of the best way to understand the worthiness of the Kinsman Redeemer is to look at the book of Ruth. The book of Ruth is not just a story that we've been told. It's not just a story. That's the problem with many of us. We hold these things as stories. It's a mystery of even your story. It's not just somebody's story. In fact, it's a type foreshadowing your story. It's captured in the book of Ruth. Our story and what the Kinsman did for us. I want to remember the story of that lady whose son went to work in the United States or went to work in India. I can't remember. India. The son went to work in India. She was very poor, was living a life of misery. And so one day, those that were trying to maybe give palliative, or I don't know, maybe doing poverty alleviation or so, they came to meet her. And the prophet said, they told her, don't you have a son who is working overseas? How come you are living like this? And she said, I have a son, he loves me. And I know he loves me because he always sends me pictures. I know he thinks about me. After all, if he doesn't think about me, would he send me pictures? She wasn't getting money from him, so she thought. Because if she was getting money, she'd be living a very excellent life. So the people say, bring those pictures for us, let us see it. Let us see the pictures she has been sending to you. She had packed many of them. When they brought the picture, it turned out that it was not really a picture he has been sending. He has been sending money to her. She did not know. He has been sending money to her. The monies, they were in something like a telegram, or maybe what you call like a MoneyGram. And if somebody gave you MoneyGram now, you will see the picture of maybe London Bridge or whatever. Mr. Man, look beyond that bridge. These stories are not pictures. When they shared, she was almost like a millionaire. All she needed to do was to take those pictures to the bank. Beneath those pictures are figures of how much the son had been sending her. All she needs to do is to cash the money out. So in case you are looking at these stories in the Bible as pictures, I have come to announce to you that this story I speak of, they are not pictures to be hung in the wall. No, they contain so much more that is only meant for you. And if only you can cash them out, you will see so much bounties that you have been missing that would help you in life journey. Because all that a man needs to progress in this wicked world is to understand who he is. We are spirits. If we tore this flesh, you will see angels bowing before us. The Bible said that even Jesus had to be made lower than an angel. So this you is your heavenly version, is the real you made lower than angels. Not only Jesus was made lower than angels, even us. Brother Bram said we bypass our theophanies. It's our real bodies. Take those angels out of their angelic bodies, if they may not be even less ordinary than us. But again, I tell you that this body cannot define you. So you must understand that even in this body, like Jesus was able to wield, you can wield powers that are truly yours. And so this book has been unveiled to us to make us know who we are beyond even Paul knew. Because Paul understood that there were contents, there were things that even he, as great a ministry he had, he did not know. He said, we prophesy in part. We know in part. But there is a perfect that has been kept for some people. He said, and when that perfect comes, this glorious thing that we, Brother call it, what we have now, perfect realization. It's a realization, but it's perfect. Huh? So what they had that was a realization, we have a perfect of it. So as glorious as the mysteries that Paul had, he said when perfect comes, it will be what? Done away with. It will be done away with. Ruth chapter 4. You all remember the story? Huh? Right? There was famine in the land of Israel. Elimelech took his wife, Naomi, and his 2 sons to greener pasture. Remember the story? What happened to them? They went to the land of Moab. And Elimelech died. Before he died, the 2 sons married Moabitess. One of them married Ruth. One of them married Ophni. Is that right? Of the land of Moab. Before long, Elimelech died. His 2 sons died. And Naomi was left. She became a widow. She became childrenless. Her children were dead. She now had daughter-in-laws. What good is a daughter-in-law? But that's what the only thing she had left. And if somebody told you today, if you have a daughter-in-law, you even have nothing because she will leave you, right? I mean, if your son died, how many daughter-in-laws have you seen remaining with their mother-in-law after the death of their son? You will only find. Everybody will find their way. They will find their way. Before you know, they remove your son name and start answering their old son name. And before you know, they marry somebody else. And you may never see them again. In fact, if they know you are here, they will pass another side. They don't want to even be able to greet you. They don't want you to ask questions. I mean, it's a human, but that was what Naomi had left. A daughter-in-law. 2 of them, Ruth and what? Ophni. Opha. That she had left. Then she had news that prosperity had returned to the land of Israel. She said, I have nothing here. I came here with a husband, I came here with children, but now, what is there to keep me? I must return back to my land. At least I have kinsmen, is that right? My husband has kinsmen. I must return back. Somebody must redeem me, is that right? And so she left to go. Her daughter-in-laws followed her. And then on the journey, she began to explain to them, I don't understand this, you're following me. I know I can't even give birth to children that will now want to take the place of their brother, to raise children for their brother. I can't do that again. I'm old. Go back to your people. She did all she could to dissuade them. And one of them turned back. But Ruth said, your God will be my God. Your people will be my people. She was determined. She was determined. She knew what she was looking for. This was predestination at work. Something was guarding her steps. The Bible said the steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. what she was doing was not ordinary. Like I explained, in our climb today, she will quickly find an exit and go look for the nearest person that she will get married to. But she was determined to follow this step. It was a new story that was developing, and she was willing to move as long as it developed. And so she ended up going up with Naomi to the land of Israel. So many things happened. In chapter 1 and chapter 2, we saw that when she returned to Moab, she began to move to look for corn. Is that right? It was the season of harvest. Aren't we in the season of harvest? It was the season of harvest. The things that were planted must come to fruition. Right? It was the time of harvest, and that was the time wherein they arrived. And so she began to move, and the Bible says she up. It says she up to enter the field of Boaz. The word up means by chance. She by chance entered into Boaz's field. She was even the one that came to tell Naomi that this is the field she entered into. That she by chance up to go into. And in chapter 1 and chapter 2, we saw that in that field there was a sheaf reaper. Since it was the time of harvest, you had reapers working in the field, but there was one that was a sheaf of the reapers. It was the one that aided the reapers. It was the one that had direct access to the Lord of harvest. Because Boaz was the Lord of harvest. This Boaz was also a Bethlehemite. He was from the place of God's bread. He was not a young man. He was not a boy that he would wear his trousers and his boxers would be shown at the back. No, he was a matured man. He was the Ancient of Days. You know, many of the young girls today, they love those boys whose boxers show at the back. They wear trousers, they hang it here. I don't know. It shows they are possessed. How can you dress and you put your boxers, you put your trouser here? You wear one big polo. You're walking like this. Because if the boxers is not here, this is how you will walk. You're walking like this. You put plaster in your face when there's no injury. Huh? You're talking, you come. But that's the one the girls love to follow. You go to ShopRite, you see them. Sometimes when I go there, I weep. Young girls. You wonder, being slayed, that is somebody's daughter who has no respect for her father. No man should touch a woman with her father's permission. It's not possible. It's a disrespect. If you allow a man touch you or a man own you without your father's permission, you go against the commandment that said you must honor your father and your mother. You must honor them. 1 Corinthians 7 said the man has power over his daughter, over his virgin. The man, a father, has power. So when we go there and we see that, it's so painful. It vexes our soul. You feel like going to tell the girl, go back home. But try that now. They will tell you all your stories. You say, you know, my uncle, even if my uncle said, even my uncle cannot talk to me like that. You will hear a story that will cause you to know what it means to be a prophet that is rejected. You will understand what it means. May God help us. Elimelech was not a young boy in any way. He was a matured man. And to think that he was the one that caught the attention of a young Moabitess. That's to tell you what she was desirous of. Is that right? She was going back to her mother's in-laws' homeland. Her husband was dead. The old husband was dead. And then she happened to find herself in the field of the Lord of harvest. Not a young boy, not somebody who could give her some of the things she had in her youth. This was a matured man. And that was where she found herself. And it happened to also be the period of harvest. But the wheat, they had to be moved from the field to the garner. But it was at the same time that the only other time she could find Boaz had left the field and was now in the threshing floor. That's where we are arriving now. Because if you remember, when Boaz saw her in the field, he asked the sheaf reaper, who is that damsel? Huh? The sheaf reaper said, oh, she's the one that came with Naomi. Your relative. She's the one that came with. He said, what? He said, tell her, give her more, allow more corn to fall on the ground. Because what Ruth could only pick, she was poor, was the corn that by chance fell to the ground. So the poor people were allowed to come and pick those things. Boaz now told the sheaf reaper, instruct all the other reapers, let them allow more corn intentionally to fall on the ground so that she can pick. He said, whatever she asks for, give to her. So she found favor. Is that right? Ruth found favor. As we read the story, can you see your story? It's not a picture to tell little children under the fires in night. It is something that is your story. It's your story. You can relate into it and get the benefits thereof. I will go to chapter 3 later, but let me read verse chapter 4. Then went Boaz up to the gate. Now, if we had read chapter 3, we may not have the time, maybe some other time, you would see that Boaz, when they began to communicate with Ruth, Ruth now found Boaz in the threshing floor. Remember, before the crops would leave the field to the garner in the time of harvest, they must go through threshing. Because it is in threshing that separation is done. It is in the threshing floor the seed no longer becomes air with the shock. It is in the threshing floor that the seed leaves from the greenness to what? Golden gray. All of these things must take place in the threshing floor. That is where men are sieved. In the spirit, you must come to the threshing floor. That is when we'll check your credentials. That's when we'll check whether you were properly sealed or if you have a fake seal. That's when we'll check who is the certifying authority. That's when the weight of men will be determined. That's when you will know this man shouting, Brother Bram said, it's a feather. It's a cloud without water. It's a thunder, it's a lightning without thunder. It's just a storyteller. He got no weight. He is not known in glory. If you were given the vision of our compartment in the 6th dimension, his body is not waiting. Brother Brown was saying in the message things that are to be. He said, have you made reservations in glory? This place you claim that you are going, do they know you? This place you claim you are going, do you have booking? If you have, where is it? Can I call the hotel if they know you? I remember when we went on honeymoon at the airport. You know, they scrutinize Nigerians different than other people. At the airport in Seychelles, they had to now ask you, where are your bookings? You know, that day you will feel embarrassed to be a Nigerian. Every other person will have been allowed. Once they show their passport, bang, going, bang, going. They didn't ask them another question. But also when Nigeria said, come to the corner. Currently, Seychelles doesn't allow Nigerians anymore because of people that went there to carry drugs. Some of our brothers. People paid with credit card. They discovered that the credit card was what? Fake. The hotels could not claim the money. Therefore, the hotels are what? They've lost. Many people bought things with credit card. Fake. They already carried the items. When they went back to, because credit means you get the money later. When they went to the issuing authority, they said, we don't know this card. So the government had to say, we have to choose. Either we let you in or we protect our people. So they had to ban Nigeria. I think it was sometime this year, right? But even then, Nigerians are always scrutinized differently anywhere we go. We're always looked at specially. So they told me, bring out the money from your wallet. Because they have a certain amount of money you must have for each day you will stay in that country. I had to count it in their presence. They didn't do that to other people. They assumed those people had their money. But for us, they got to check. Then, for the hotels, we stayed in 4 places. Each of the hotel, they called them. Did you do booking for this guy? They had to reply yes before they allowed us to pass. But this happens in the threshing floor. Huh? This happens spiritually in the threshing floor. Your claims, everything that you claim you have must be checked. Because what goes to the garner must be finished product. What goes to the garner must be product that can test, that can pass through the test of time. But this was the period wherein we arrive in chapter 3. Of course, Naomi had already educated Ruth what to do. He said, when you go, stay close to his feet. You know why? Boaz was not a man that would go and sleep and allow his servant to give him report. Boaz slept with the crops like the shepherd would sleep with the sheep. Boaz was sleeping in the threshing floor. So Ruth came. Is that right? Now, this was not something Naomi can do for Ruth. When it comes to marriage, you can't do it for nobody. So she could only educate him. When you go, stay close to his feet. He will be the one to invite you to come under the cover, under the blanket. Because only the wife goes under the blanket. Is that right? No other person goes. So but we'll come to Ruth chapter 4. In chapter 3, before we come here, Boaz told Ruth, I am not the nearest kinsman to you. There is one that is nearest to you, but I will watch what he does. Huh? There was someone that was a near kinsman. Even though Boaz was a kinsman, there was someone that was more nearer. Let's just read that quickly, Ruth chapter 3. Okay, let's read from verse 8. Verse 8. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid. Okay, sorry, let's just read, okay? Let's get it quickly. Verse 1. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee? What is rest? Marriage. Huh? Some women rest without marriage. I don't know which kind of women they are. A woman gets her rest in marriage. Today, women, they tell you that forget about a man. If you can just get pregnant, just have a child and stay on your own. Is that what we're seeing today? Huh? They just get pregnant, look for an impregnator, get pregnant, they don't care about marriage. But a true woman who has the 3 virtues. Remember them? Virginity, keep yourself for your husband. What's the second one? Womanhood. How you conduct yourself around men. Whether you're the type that when men talk, you'll just be laughing and so they can touch your body. Or you are the type that you protect yourself. That's a woman. I used to tell you about a woman close to where I stay in Port Harcourt. Every evening I'm coming from work, she's playing Ludo with men. That one lack womanhood. You see 3 men, she's the only one there playing Ludo. She lack womanhood. What's the third attribute or virtue? Motherhood. So, Naomi had to teach her. He said, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast? Behold, he winnoweth barley. Are you seeing that? He winnoweth barley. These are terms that when we have the time, we'll begin to look at what Brother Brown said about each of them. Huh? Barley and all of these things. He winnoweth barley tonight in the threshing floor. Wash thyself therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. But make not thyself known unto the man. Can you see advices? Don't go there and be messing up. Huh? Until he shall have done eating and what? Drinking. And it shall be when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. Are you seeing that? People live their lives. Look at the restraints, look at the constraints, both on our part and on the man. Look at the way they live their lives. All of this because of you and I. And many will read this story and think it's something to paste on the wall. And she said unto her, all that thou sayest unto me, I will do. Did not we learn from the Jews? Was it not them that gave us the Bible? Is Naomi not back to her homeland? Huh? Was there famine in the land of Israel? The Titus Vespasian drove them out of their land. Did they not return in 1946? So Naomi going back to her homeland was Israel going back to her homeland in what? 1946. Was it not in 1963 that we, Ruth, met Boaz? Can't you see the picture again? He said, and she said unto her, all that thou sayest unto me, I will do. And she went down onto the floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. And when Boaz had eaten and was drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the edge of the heap of corn, sleeping with his products, like the shepherd would with the sheep. Huh? And she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down, like she was instructed. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid. He didn't know who was this. And turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thy maiden. Is that what we're saying tonight or this afternoon? Look, Ruth is in every nation. It's in Nigeria. It's in South Africa. It's in Philippines. It's in all nations of the earth. Because when Brother Bram saw the preview of the bride, he said they were all arrayed in their national colors. God has got his people from every nation under heaven. So Ruth is spread across. I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. Look at what she was saying. She was confident. She knew who he was. She knew the right things to say because she had been educated properly. She was a listener. It's not only those who hear, but those who do what they hear. She knew what to say. She knew the right things to tell him. She was trying to say that I want to be your wife. Oh. She was saying the right things. Now look at what he said. He said, spread therefore thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast shewed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. Look, the denominations of today are going after a young serpent. You know, Brother Brown said that the serpent, before he became a crawling creature, was a nice tall guy. He had side bags. It was not handsome, it was beautiful. The serpent was a beautiful man. That's not what Ruth went after. Ruth did not go after the seductiveness of this world. Huh? She went after the Ancient of Days. She went after the Lord of harvest. She went after the one that can provide your needs according to his riches in glory. Not the one that will give you your wants, mess you up, and leave you to hang dry. Not after young men. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the city of my people does know that thou art a virtuous woman. Can you see her? A virtuous woman. She had all her attributes intact. She had not been manhandled by any denomination. She had extricated herself. Her old husband was what? Dead. She was now uniting to another being to become a new creature. Her old husband was dead. She was virtuous. She could not be defined as a Moabitess because she was not inside of her. She was virtuous. Do you know that Boaz had been studying her? The chief reaper had been giving him reports. Huh? Did Naomi not meet the chief reaper before did Ruth not meet the chief reaper before she met Boaz? Huh? Did we not meet William Brown before we met Jesus? Who is the chief reaper today? William Marion Brown. Every Abigail needed a Samuel to meet a David. Huh? Every Ruth need a chief reaper to meet a Boaz. Every Rebecca need an Eliezer to meet a Isaac. We needed a William Brown to meet the Lord Jesus Christ. It's always been the pattern. And so in chapter 1 and chapter 2, he met the chief reaper before she was introduced to the Lord of harvest. And now it is true that I am the near kinsman, albeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. We'll continue next week. Let us stand up on our feet. The Lord of harvest has unveiled himself. It is barley season. All that was planted have come to harvest. But before being gathered into the garner, threshing time is needed for purification. And the Lord of harvest is in the threshing floor. He personally supervises the process. He personally supervises the process of threshing. The old husband of Ruth was dead. She was accompanying her mother-in-law to the homeland. She needed a kinsman. It was time of harvest. The Lord of harvest was in the threshing floor, and she had to be taught how to come close. The same way Brother Bram had to restore all that was lost. Because if you don't become virtuous, you can't come close. Brother Bram had to make the bride a virtuous woman. Everything she lost had to be restored. And Jesus is saying, you are virtuous. You are sinless. There is therefore no condemnation to you. I am the one that justifieth. And I justified and I declare you sinless, vicious. You never sinned in the first place. God wiped the story clean. Boaz said, you are virtuous. That's a declaration. He said, you did not go after the young men. That's a declaration. That's a testament to who we are. That we passed through William Brown. We passed through the school of William Brown. That William Brown walked upon us, brought us back to the Alpha Church age, told the women to leave the pulpit, told them your office is in the kitchen, told them you are the keeper of the home. He brought back to us the truth about water baptism in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Brought back to us the oneness of the Godhead. There was only one seated on the throne, as shown us in Revelation 4. But it's got several offices. Not three persons in one God, but one God in three offices. Told us if tongues came up in public, the interpretation must follow. If dreams are brought forth, interpretation must follow. God is not the author of confusion. Restored us back and declared us sinless, vicious, and fit to marry the Lord of harvest. It was the reason we don't go after young boys. It's the reason we don't go after the flashiness of the world system. It's the reason why we are not under a denomination. It's the reason why the Pope is not our father. It's the reason why we didn't crawl like David Duplessis. But the man was shocked. David Duplessis, what are you going to meet the Pope for headship for? You go under the Pope for headship? They were deceived by the World Council of Churches. But we cannot be deceived. We went after the Ancient of Days. There was nothing to be desired of him, but that's the one we go for. Because in him is life. He asked Peter, would you not also go? Peter declared, who shall we go on to? Who can we go on to? Who can tell us our history from before time began? Who can give us these words of eternal life? Who can tell us how it all began? Who can take us into the mind of God and begin to show us the picture and show us our journey from your mind to the earth, from the earth to glory? Who can give us the seven thunders? The Pope knows nothing about it. Their theologians have become more confused. Their theology is leading them farther from the truth. Who shall we go on to? But you, the Lord of harvest, in the season of barley, in the time of harvest, it's you that we've come to. Is the reason we shut ourselves from the world? Is the reason we abandon their food, we abandon their sustenance, and we saw that the unfolding body word of promise, carcass, where egos are gathering in this season of famine. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me. All His wonderful passion and purity. Oh, the Spirit's divine, all my nature refine, till the beauty of Jesus be seen in me. Take this song one more time. Call on our beloved brother Worry to close us with a word of prayer. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in me. Yes, in me all is wonderful passion and purity. Till the beauty of Jesus be seen in me.